or the last year that I did do e-commerce, did about $2 million in sales off only a few products.
We're in Houston right now walking our new 56-unit crazy property here. It starts down there.
We got a lot of $1 billion man.
Eli, welcome to Talk Shop Podcast. My cousin, new head of marketing at Avgi. Eli comes from the world of digital marketing and e-commerce. He's a beast, one of the best that I've ever seen, and I've been trying to get him on board for a long time. I've always supported his vision, and I'm so proud of him. Eli's now transitioned into working with me, and he's going to blow this shit up together. Eli, please introduce yourself, and welcome to the Talk Shop Podcast.
All right. Hey, Alon. Thank you so much. So my name's Eli. I did e-commerce for about 5 years. And I recently started doing pretty well with it in my last 2 years of it. In the last year the last year that I did do e-commerce, did about $2 million in sales off only a few products. That was really exciting. And I saw how fast Alon was growing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to close it down, take what I made, and start investing. And that's kind of how we started working together now, is that you wanted me on your team to help you, manage the whole marketing end. And I'm really excited to get it going. I'm really, really excited.
Isn't it so cool how we're excited every day? Yeah. We're talking morning to night, just figuring things out and so excited.
Yeah, we're just wired like that. It's what we eat, sleep, and work on all day.
I haven't been excited like this in years. Like, I feel like the last couple of years, just head's been down, working, figuring things out, and now it's all come together. Like, now the scale is being implemented. We're feeling it. You're on board. We're hiring like madmen. And 2 years ago, you remember, it was solo entrepreneur Alon.
Yep.
And now it's like,
yeah, growing fast, man.
Yeah, it's
growing
awesome.
fast. I'm here to push it. Yeah. I'm here to push it hard.
So actually,
I'm not playing games.
Yeah, you're not. I know. Seriously, since the day you started this week, right?
Yeah, we moved a lot so far.
So much.
Yeah.
And the CRM's being like built out. The workflows are looking dope. Everything's looking mint. Like, we're definitely looping in the world of e-com and media into this real estate business.
Yes. That's gonna set you apart, big time.
100%.
Big time.
So, Eli and I just strategized how we're going to frame this podcast, and a lot of the podcasts moving forward now are going to be about talking about businesses that people have experience in. So, for example, Eli comes from e-commerce, and by the way, this is the first podcast we're launching back up since I've simmered down and have been focusing strictly on the business. Eli has experience in e-commerce and digital media. We're going to be talking about his experiences, his stories, the craziness of that world and industry. I'm going to ask him plenty of questions that I hope people can learn from. And then at the end, we're going to give a call to action, some sort of lesson or way for people to get involved and create value for the followers. This is probably the only time I'm going to introduce this, and moving forward, we're going to just have it be part of the podcast. So let's get into it. Ellis, tell us your story about e-commerce, how you got into it, and where it led.
Oh, man. All right, so I got into it actually because I had a friend that had a jewelry company, and I was really inspired by them. So I kind of started...
Are we talking about the same friend?
Yes, the same friend we know.
Past tense.
I was super inspired by them, so I started my own thing, kind of in the same realm as them. Did horrible. We invested so much money, time, effort. We took about 6 months to build it out. We hired models. We did photo shoots. I learned how to use a camera for the first time. I was 18, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I put in so much work. Built a huge Instagram following, like 7,000 followers, authentic ones. And the day we launched, we were like, we're going to sell out everything. Launched it, put it on Instagram, and we got about 2 sales in the first 24 hours.
Damn.
And it was horrible.
Slow start.
Stayed like that the whole time. We lost money on our Facebook ads, and eventually just burned out. And then I kind of wanted to stick with it because I needed the money, and I was 18. I was in college, lived in the city, and you can never have enough money in the city. Yeah. So I started doing other things, figuring it out, playing with all these different drop shipping products. And one thing clicked really well. I actually did marketing on Snapchat. Through the same way that Instagram has themed pages, Snapchat has themed subscriptions that you can kind of go on to. So there's a lot about gaming and stuff like that. Sold really hot tech products on there. I made like 30,000 off one product, and as an 18-year-old, I was in shock. I didn't know what to do, and that's what got me hooked, was that potential of going from literally making nothing to making 30,000 within like 5 days.
Yeah.
And that was insane. But it came with so many problems. I had no idea what I was doing. I got all my money held. I ended up having to refund people because I couldn't fulfill. And I ended up not really making a lot of money at all. And I rode that kind of up and down wave for the first 2 years until I was actually, serious enough to learn how to run a business properly. Once I did that, things took off. I really was thoughtful about what I was doing. And things went pretty well. And, my last 2 years were pretty serious. We had a serious company. We hired people. I had 2 partners in it. And we did we did more than 2 million in the first year of that company. And that was really exciting. And that was my ride. That was my journey through e-commerce, my 5 years of e-commerce.
What do you see as the draw to e-commerce? Like, why is it the hottest thing ever? Every kid wants to be in it. Every adult wants to be in it. What's that draw?
I think it's the life of the passive income kind of idea that everybody wants.
But that doesn't exist.
Working from your laptop on a balcony and, somewhere foreign and exotic like Hawaii or something.
Fluidity, like it's fluid. You
Yeah.
can just go wherever you want.
Yeah. Hop on a plane, you're going to make the same money in Florida that you are going to make in Kansas where you're born.
Do you think that's a pipe dream, or is it doable?
I don't know, man. I think now it's so competitive, that whole e-commerce world, that if you're not there to build a business, you're going to get destroyed and
Really?
you're going to waste your money. If you're not there to build an e-commerce business and hire people and strategize systems to find products, market them, get things moving faster than the other guys, you're not going to do too well. Or maybe you'll get lucky a few times, but it's not going to be consistent.
Do you know anything about this Amazon boom going on?
I hear about it and stuff, but I'm disconnected from that world because I'm going full in on real estate right now.
I love that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember when you started, or even when you were scaling, you focused on Shopify. What were the ins and outs? Like, what was the problems with Shopify stores? Or, if somebody's in the game right now, is there another strategy that they should focus on?
Yeah. So this is, Shopify is like I'm sure in any business, there's okay, this is the basic way of doing it. And then when you really want to take it serious, you look for these other things that most people don't know about. And that's what brings you to the next level. So Shopify is great. Like, you can get pretty big with it. But if you want to get really creative with the kind of offers you're running, the kind of, discounts you're running, the kind of funnels you have, e-commerce isn't only a storefront. There's also funnels to it, and there's also email marketing that comes up behind you, and there's a lot of moving parts. There's payment processors these days. You definitely need more than one payment processor.
Why is that?
Because they're so strict. After COVID, there's a lot of fraud going on. So there's the odds of you running everything totally white hat, which just means by the books, normal, nothing sketchy, no weird products. Totally white hat, but still getting your money held by processors is super high. Just because they're always on their toes, they want to make sure that they're covered at all times. So they don't let you do stuff.
They hold your payments back?
Yeah, they're gonna hold your payments. So if for the past week you've been doing $500 a day in sales, and then the next day you do 1,000, they'll find that as a reason to hold your money.
And they hold everything.
They'll hold everything that's not sent out yet. And typically that's 3 days of sales, 2 to 3 days of sales.
So if you have to hold some sort of reserves in order to fulfill orders, if you have $0, you're screwed.
Yeah, you need at least you definitely need 5 days of 5 to 7 days of money to operate the business.
And now when a client charges back, for example, they bought an iPhone case from you, and then you didn't send it out in 2 days, and they tell the credit card it's fraud, how does that impact everything?
The more, basically with processors, this could be a whole podcast in and of itself. There's so much about processors. But with processors, you want to stay below a 2% chargeback rate. So if you have 100 orders and 2%, 2 people charge back, that's already going to make you pop up on their radar. And that's not what you want. So our goal was always to stay around 1%, which is extremely difficult. And there's all these different CRMs and stuff and systems that you can integrate through banks and through like chargeback protection agencies that you can integrate with a payment processor that's going to help you stay below that 1% or below that 2%. Most of that stuff doesn't work with Shopify. So that's why we moved over to WordPress, because you can integrate CRMs, you can integrate all these crazy, third parties that are going to help you maintain your processors. So let's say you have $500 a day in product cost, $200 a day in ad spend. You have $700 a day to maintain that. And then you can basically look at your bank account and figure out what you're going to need for over the weekend. And then, you're going to see if you're going to have to scale back for a couple days, let the money settle in your account, and then continue scaling. So that's some of the things that we figured out the hard way, but we learned it very fast when we were scaling. And we didn't make the mistake twice, which was vital to us succeeding.
What are the margins in that dropshipping planning?
So it really does depend on your marketing. If you're doing some cookie cutter marketing plan off of YouTube, you're looking at, 15 to 20%.
Got it. General dropship products.
Yeah, 15 to 20% probably nowadays, because it's pretty competitive. But we were looking at around 35.
That sounds high.
Yeah.
Even 20 sounds high.
Yeah. It's definitely a solid business.
Is that after ad spend?
That's after everything.
After everything, net.
35%. We were really good at branding. That's what set us apart. Some people were selling the same products for $30. We were able to sell them for $45, just because we had a lot of custom content, branding, high quality, everything, insane websites. And what else?
I guess the issues come down to like partners too. So if it was you and I started an e-commerce store, 2 partners did 100,000 in sales, which isn't that easy in a general month or 2-month time frame, and we make 20% margins, and then we split that in half, we make $10,000. Still have other overhead, right? And then what about cancellations? Are you factoring that into the 20%?
Cancellations of what?
Like product cancellations, chargebacks, etc.
Yeah, that was pretty much net.
Net is 20.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
And now what's the difference in branded products? So like I bring in a product, I brand it myself, and then I sell it out of inventory. What type of margins?
Oh, if you buy the inventory up front?
Yeah.
Honestly, we got hooked up with a really good supplier. Not hooked up. I did a lot of research and work to get her, but we had a pretty good supplier overseas, and it only made sense because the shipping was a decent speed and it wasn't too expensive.
Okay.
The issue with bringing inventory in is that the shipping kills your margins. You kind of do have to take a hit on that, because nobody.
Bring the inventory in-house?
Yeah.
I thought it would be cheaper because you get one delivery in-house and then you piece it out.
Yeah, but piecing it out, your shipping is going to be, for most products, you're going to need priority mail or UPS ground, which is like $6 to $8 a piece. That's very expensive.
Direct drop shipping saves you money on shipping costs.
Yeah, and then on top of that, fulfillment, a lot of people don't know, that is not a business that makes money.
Yeah.
Fulfillment, you're running on extremely thin margins. You're going to have to hire someone for minimum wage, and it's just not practical for the most part, unless you're extremely branded and you're able to, calculate that in your margins.
What are some creative ways people are making fortunes in e-commerce right now? First thing that comes to mind.
I hate to say it, but honestly, the people that make pretty solid money kind of just do it first. They find the product first, and they get really known for that one product.
Okay.
That's it.
Extremely specific.
Yeah, just random products. Like I have this friend doing a curling iron. He's the first one that did it. I sold the product too. I didn't make money off of it.
Okay.
I tried to. It didn't work.
Yeah.
But he kills it. And that happens nonstop. And that was us. We were the ones that were able to sell these products, and no one else could because we beat him out. We were the first ones. We found it really early too. Nobody else was able to sell it because it was actually like some sort of fashion product.
Okay.
And we were able to brand it very, very well, which a lot of people don't have the facilities to do that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your transition into Avgi, what you envision, where you see us going, and how your e-commerce background is going to integrate, help us scale.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, bringing e-commerce to the next level, one thing I learned that was super important was looking for these other systems that most people don't use, learning how to integrate them with third parties and stuff like that are super valuable, solve problems that you didn't know you had in the first place, help you scale, because there's a lot of problems that come with scaling. And looking for that in the real estate world, in Avgi, in our business, looking to correlate and the experience I had in that business with Avgi, that's going to be really big. Besides that, what else do you want to go over?
I think you hit that. I think you hit it.
Okay, cool.
I think that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, especially as we scale. It's going to give us our competitive advantages.
Yeah.
And we're taking notes from competitors, but we're definitely going to be outpacing people with our digital world. It's cool because we're so young, so we're blending in both of those worlds.
Yeah.
And you know what I think is funny? I thought about this while we were setting all of this up. We have haters. Like the digital world of haters is looped into our business because we're treating it that way. We're treating it like a media company, like we're putting out content, we're engaging. So the haters are coming out of the woodwork nonstop. Most people in the business, it's more old-fashioned, boring, pen and paper. So their haters are in conversation. Ours, we feel it at a much bigger scale, which I think is cool.
Yeah, it's funny. It's
Right?
funny to think of.
Do you remember all the haters in the e-com world? How they would always just they made those Instagram accounts and be like, this guy's a scammer.
Yes. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, there's an Instagram account specifically for e-com scammers, like mentors that are just complete BS and fake.
And thankfully we're not scammers, so we're going to be also going into that mentorship route.
Yeah.
Since it's in such high demand.
Yeah. Any knowledge is in high demand, especially from someone who knows their stuff.
It has to be paid at a certain point because there's only so much you can do when giving up your time for free.
Yeah.
It starts to impact. I'm going to keep putting out tons of free content, but the people that want very specific mentorships, one-on-one, that takes out my time, I think I'm going to start going in the paid route.
Yeah.
It's inevitable at a certain point.
And while we're here, I think this is just for Avgi in general. Anyone that's come this far, listened to this podcast, if you guys want to hit up any of us, give us ideas. Give us ideas, because I just got on board with Avgi and Alon, and we're in the part where we're kind of brainstorming, trialing things out. So anything that you guys can throw at us, that's going to be good to hear.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to also hear what people want to learn about and everything. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love you, Eli. You're the man.
Love you too.
Let's
this
do
is
this.
great.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
go.
Boom. Podcast out.